up, gamers? We're back with some more bad news. Israel codified turning their Palestinian concentration camps, where Palestinians are typically held without charge or trial, into death camps. So now any Palestinian that fights back against, the settler terrorists, uh, in the West Bank or against the Israeli occupation forces, basically, is at the risk of getting murdered by the Israeli state, which, as if that wasn't already happening in these prisons. Here, let's go to Francesca Albanese's report, because I haven't read that yet. Albanese. Not sure how you say it. It's Italian, right? Where's her? Yeah, this is it, I think. Maybe. Let's just go to her Instagram, because I know it's linked there. Or the direct link is there. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay. Torture and Genocide Report of the Special Rapporteur on the Situation of Human Rights in the Palestinian Territories Occupied since 1967. Advance, edited version. Okay. Summary. This report examines Israel's systematic use of torture against Palestinians from occupied Palestinian territory since 7th of October 2023, encompassing both custodial and non-custodial practices, which met the threshold for genocide under the Genocide Convention. It documents how torture has become integral to the domination of and punishment inflicted on men, women, and children, both through custodial abuse, through a relentless campaign of forced displacements, mass killings, deprivation, and destruction of all means of life to inflict long-term collective pain and suffering. A continuous territorially pervasive regime of psychological terror is being imposed, designed to break bodies, deprive people of their dignity, and force them from their land. This is not incidental violence. This is not. Should I do her accent? I don't know. No, probably not. That's not appropriate. This is not incidental violence. It is the architecture of settler colonialism, built on a foundation of dehumanization and maintained by a policy of cruelty and collective torture. All right, so 23 pages. Kind of boring to go through, but is there a summary? Where are the findings, conclusions? Okay, since October 2023, the systematic torture of Palestinians has become an integral component of the settler colonial genocide perpetrated by Israel, functioning as an instrument of annihilatory violence directed at Palestinians as a people. When torture is perpetrated across an entire country against a population as such and sustained through policies that destroy the conditions of life, the genocidal intent is apparent. The present report merely scratches the surface. It situates torture within a broader framework of custodial and non-custodial policies and practices, in which I need to zoom in. in which the infliction of collective long-term harm reflects a concerted effort to control and erase a people by destroying basic conditions of life, breaking social bonds in collective resistance, and ultimately forcing Palestinians from their land to replace them with settlers. In custody, Palestinian captives have been subjected to exceptionally ruthless physical and psychological abuse on a scale with an intensity without precedent in the history of Palestine or Israel. Brutal beatings, sexual violence, rape, lethal mistreatment, starvation, and the systematic deprivation of the most basic human conditions have inflicted profound and lasting scars on the bodies. Oh, shoot. Oh, wait, I'm fine. No, wait, am I? I have something maybe to do that I might have. I'm not sure if it's today or tomorrow. Anyway. You gotta check that after this. Beyond detention, Palestinians are subjected to conditions that cumulatively inflict severe collective physical and psychological suffering, mass killings, mass displacement, mass destruction of homes and infrastructure, mass starvation, some mass killings, Gaza, mass displacement, the Nakba, or the death marches that Palestinians in Gaza have been doing ever since, like going to the Gaza Holocaust Fund sites to collect food. Mass destruction, go look at pictures of Gaza, or you can go look at like settler terrorists, bulldozing Palestinian homes in the West Bank, or attempting to and firebombing them. Infrastructure, for that, Palestinians are deprived of right to collect rainwater or have a functioning sewage and water systems, running water. Mass starvation, Gaza, mass deprivation. Just look at what's happening in Gaza. Well, also the destruction of homes and infrastructure. Just look at Gaza, including essential medical care and the constant exposure to violence and humiliation without repair. In this torturous environment, the intentional destruction of the conditions necessary for life make daily existence an ordeal of exhaustion, trauma, and precarity. By targeting the totality of people across the globe, the totality of occupied land through a totality of conduct, genocide has become the ultimate form of torture. Continuous, generational, and collective. Taken together, these policies consolidate a comprehensive system of destruction calculated to inflict permanent suffering on Palestinians, annihilate everyday life, and create an environment of sustained anguish as confirmed by testimonies describing the irreversible erosion of trust, selfhood, and belonging caused by torture and its enduring impact on families. These practices are designed to inflict harm and obliterate once and for all the Palestinian right to self-determination, eroding the possibility of political, cultural, and territorial continuity. There can be no doubt that this constitutes both the infliction of serious bodily and mental harm under Article 2b of the Genocide Convention and intentional collective torture. While the dehumanization of Palestinians predates the appointments of Itamar Ben-Gvir, Bezalel Smotrich, and Israel Katz in the government, these politicians now preside over, give political direction to the give political direction to the policies behind the present report's findings. Any credible pursuit of justice must confront torture not as an isolated crime, but as a foundational pillar of a genocidal project aimed at the complete erasure, physical and psychological destruction, displacement, and replacement of the Palestinian people. Yeah, and this report was published right before this law even passed yesterday on March 30th. Okay, so I didn't exactly hear that it's only for Palestinians convicted of murdering Israelis. I'm sure that's not probably the full. Let's see the Zionist and anti-Zionist take on it. All right. Nerdine, I should have covered that, made a video about that. That's a little more. If it bleeds, it reads, right? I don't know. Or is that the right saying? Am I stupid? Anyway. Have they written a story, an article on this yet? No. Okay, well, I guess we're going with lamestream media, dude. Okay. Israel's parliament on Monday passed a law approving the death penalty for Palestinians convicted of murdering Israelis, a measure that has been harshly condemned by. Oh, wait, maybe Mondaweiss has something. It's a little more, on note, in tune. Okay. I assume this talks about it. Oh, wait. Whatever. Okay, well, this is just opinion. So, it's not going over. This is more of a broader piece. You should check it out anyway. Years-long nationalistic offenses. Netanyahu was there to vote in person. Oh, Satan Yahoo! You know, these Palestinians, or wait, how do they? These Arabs, you know, they have to die. Otherwise, these terrorists, these terror babies. Okay, so death by hanging is the default punishment for West Bank Palestinians convicted of nationalistic killings. So basically, this law, my guess is that it's basically giving a green light for West Bank settlers to just do an all-out assault on any, like, Palestinian in the West Bank they please, because if the Palestinian fights back and the settler ends up dying, then under Israeli law, they're going to be sentenced to be hung. So the language of the law makes it a little obscures, I think, what's happening here. Because Palestinians were already getting lynch mobbed and killed in Israeli prison and detention. For example, how do you say? Oh, wait. Sadeh Timon. Yep. Israel drops charges against soldiers in Palestinian detainee abuse. Okay, so this story is about a bunch of Israeli concentration camp guards that were caught on camera raping a Palestinian to death in the Sde Tayman concentration camp. And guess what? Israel dropped the charges. And for some reason, I remember this guy's name because he is such a villain. Uh, or what sound? Or should I? I'll tell you what's nice. I'll tell you what's right. What's right is recorded for the Jews in the Torah. In the Torah, it is written about Prophet Amos. They will fight against you, but they will not prevail. It is written in our prophets that they will. Okay, yeah, so this guy's like total religious zealot nutcase. Anyway, he's also a Israeli TV star, This has a video, right? This is one of the soldiers that raped the Palestinian to death. So this happened less than a year after October 7th, by the way. 20, August 26th. Wow, what a nice country to live in. So friendly. You just have a rapist murderer on TV, and it's cool because he did it to a Palestinian. And that's what he's famous for. Oh, yeah, I also forgot. Um, no, I didn't mean golden nose pins. I meant golden noose pins. Okay. Uh, um, Ben Gavir's party's been wearing this. Really taking ownership of their Jim Crow Jewish Jim Jew Crow legacy. That doesn't work. Anyway, they're really taking ownership of the Jim Crow style Western hanging stuff. You know, so that's cool. And other members of his party were also wearing it, but I don't know. She is wearing it. She was the one. She's in the Knesset too, right? Anyway, yeah. What a wonderful. It's not an apartheid state. It's not. There's no genocide. Is literally what you'll like. I don't know, morons in these like like Jewish like online chat rooms or whatever on Twitter or on Instagram will post about, and then people see this stuff and they're like, well, doesn't seem to be the case. Anyway, if you found that video informative, getting random. Oh, I need to get off this. If you found that video informative, give me a like. Please give me a like. And subscribe. Helps me out. Keeps me going. Anyway, pieces, YouTubers.